The Marybeth Conley Show on KWAN, FM 107.9 and AM 990. KWAN, now on FM 107.9 and AM 990.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Marybeth Conley Show, FM 107.9. And I love the way Allison interacts with the show. She always jumps on early so she can hear all the takeaways that we provide. Allison, I just love that about you.
Well, what great energy you have on your show today. And Amber, you made me feel just a little bit guilty, so I think that my segment is done. I need to get up and take some action.
Don't feel guilty. Use that as empowerment. Get busy. There you go.
So, Allison, if you get a little out of breath during this segment, this $1 Million Mind segment, we'll know that you're doing jumping jacks while you're sharing with us.
She looked up those burpees.
Exactly.
Yeah, no burpees going on at the moment. I'll be good if I do that water curl. Get the water.
Well, you're going to help us put the awe in our awesome career goals. Summer, we often see it as a time to relax and take a breath and just kind of let everything go. But you want us to spend this summer kind of as a launch pad into new opportunities. What do you mean when you say that?
Oh, I do. I believe that everybody in the listening audience should declare it the summer of their career. We often, as you said, think about this summer as summertime is lazy. We're going to, get fresh air. But, man, you can get fresh air and take your laptop outside and
That's right.
and do just a couple things to work on your career. So I care about economic opportunity, which is really about getting money in your pocket. Money can't buy happiness, but it certainly buys you options. So, yeah, you should use that energy of the summer to set the groundwork for that next stage of your career and business growth, and not underestimate that changing jobs in the summer could, in fact, be a good thing. One, because if a company's hiring, it's because they absolutely need the help. They're serious about hiring. But two, while everybody else is out with their pool floaties, you can be applying for those jobs. And,
there you go.
And really set that stage. And maybe it's not the time to change jobs, but I want you to think about being in the business of creating opportunities for yourself, whether it's your next career move or whether you're a business owner and you need to be going out and finding more clients.
So use this downtime to kind of build your foundation for your next leap forward. What are some of the things, you talk about expectation. You're right. We ought to point to the fact that you do regular blogs on your website, which is so fabulous because people can get these takeaways at AllisonKSummers.com. But you talk about setting an expectation. What do you mean by that?
Well, so this is an interesting one because we all have different coaches in our lives, and my business coach, he kind of called me out 3 weeks ago for using too much victim language. And I think if we've talked, and I don't know if there are any parents in your listening audience, I find 3 times of the year incredibly difficult for us as working parents. The return to school, the Christmas holidays, and the end of the school year.
Amen,
we are in the
sister.
throes of the end of the school year. And so what I find when I say hold an expectation that opportunity will find you, it's one, get the right attitude. Get rid of that victim language that, my day, when you get up and you're like, I have so many to-dos in my day. Mm-hmm. First shift with that mindset of, let's see where we can go today. And if you can set the expectation that you can just, that universe can bring you just one new person that can either be relevant information, be a gateway to a new career, a new business opportunity, but set the expectation and also calm yourself to be prepared to listen, engage, and receive. I have this theory that when this lifetime is over and we get to look back on it, it'll be like all the Easter eggs that we walked past on an Easter egg hunt. Like, oh, you mean that was just right there and I didn't stop and talk to that person?
That's because I'm so busy with the end of school. I mean, I find myself, I was just telling Amber that, in fact, before we started into air, because we both have those middle schoolers, as does Sherry.
That's right.
And we've been to more awards programs over the last week. I know you have as well. So I was saying that exact
I have
thing.
8th grade graduation tomorrow. I'm right there.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Just follow the pictures on Facebook. You should be able to see all the action.
So even if you can't, I don't want to use the word take advantage of the new contact. I don't mean it in that way. I mean take advantage of the fact that you've made a new contact right then, because you do have a week full of awards programs and 8th grade graduations, et cetera, et cetera.
Formals.
You need to prepare yourself to do so. Maybe set the appointment for next week instead of just kind of throwing up your hands and saying, I can't do anything right now. Is that
correct?
Completely, you are completely correct. And think about these venues that we're in. I'm sure all of us, if you're doing these things, have been in a room full of people where there's somebody else in that room, quite frankly, that can give you a new piece of information, that can help you solve a problem, that could introduce you to somebody who is interviewing people for jobs, or who could be a future client or get you to the next client. And I think I phrase it as seek to meet people who will help you design your future. And sometimes you just need to shake it up. And that's also the time to practice these conversations, right? When you meet new people, project who you want to be in the future more so than, what do you do? Oh, I'm just an accountant. I just do that.
Gotcha.
No, I'm passionate about this thing, and I really help people do this. And in fact, I have a goal that in the next 6 months, I'm looking for 3 new clients. I'm looking for some new workshops to go to. Hey, can you refer me to somebody? And I think we often forget to let people know what we're looking for, what we're open for. Because it's something, just put that intention out there and ask.
So take your business cards to the 8th grade graduation.
I was going to say, it's a room full of buyers. What this makes me think of is, I don't know if you guys ever watched Sex and the City, but there's this scene where they're talking about men putting their light on, how like when men are not available, they can't get them to be your boyfriend, but as soon as they put their light on, they'll be married within a year. So I'm like, put your light on, put your light on.
Amber's going to come up and go to the graduation with you because she wants to share some wellness with new
she was
people.
saying
Well,
with intention,
sure.
like that's my intention every day, is that I'm going to touch somebody with my holistic information. But like she said, I show up every day with my light on. I'm like, who wants to talk to me? How can we get this started?
I know that about you. Absolutely.
Bring the party with you.
So that begins with having your vision firmly in place and being ready to articulate it,
and
right?
living in intention, like she said, literally every day waking up and saying, I'm taking action, one more step towards that goal.
Yeah, there you go.
So my dad used to, my father, who has had such a varied career, he was a Vietnam vet, and he came home with a wife and 2 small, lovely children, my sister and I, and he was a barber. So he had no college degree. He came home from Vietnam, and he was a barber. By the end of my father's late life career, he was an investment broker. I mean, he just went through from being a barber to working in retail to working in a wine distributorship to being in real estate to working in life insurance to working in investments. And my father was always in the business of creating opportunities. And I think you're right, Cher. He must have just always had his light on. But if you asked him how business was going, he would always say, unbelievable. And he never would infer if it was unbelievably bad or unbelievably good.
I like
but
that.
The answer was always unbelievable. And he said it with such positivity. And I think sometimes, and I'm going to speak to us as women, we sometimes want to commiserate. We're like,
Yes.
We do so much. We take on so much. So we're going to tell everybody else how much we take on. And when I get off this call, I'm going to go look in the mirror because, again, my business coach called me on it 3 weeks ago. But the goal is even in these places that you're going and meeting people, you want to portray that you are a top partner of choice. Again, whether you are a partner to be an employee and whether you are a partner because you own your own business and you have a product or solution. And I think that energy and that confidence, and I also think we all stand a little taller and smile a little more in the summer. And that's why, circling back to, I think we should declare it the summer of our career and really think about that. And people are also more happy to come out and have a coffee. They're happy to come out and have lunch. They're happy to come out and meet you for a glass of wine after work. Take advantage of that.
You know, that is true because it is a slower time in business. People might have a freer schedule. So go ahead and pack your day with meetings like coffee meetings or a glass of wine after work, as you mentioned, just because if there's not an organized networking function, maybe you can make every day a mini networking.
Oh, absolutely.
function.
And people would love those connections. You know, that's one thing I see a lot is that as connected as we are in this world, like physical connection is still something everyone longs for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and a tip for those who are just getting started, if you go to lunch with everyone and you pay for their lunch, you're going to go broke. So go to Starbucks so everybody can pay for their own coffee.
But,
Good tip.
but drink water. So that,
You can have your coffee, just drink water after.
Decaf, right?
Allison,
That's like fat-free ice cream, Sherry. I don't know about that.
Allison, thank you so very much. I feel like $1 million, where I have to admit I started the show kind of as $1.98. So you have absolutely elevated my day, and I know you have.
And I will come back and we will check in to see if people were able to insert that energy. And you are correct. I need to go grab my business cards and put them in my purse, but because you never know who I'm going to sit next to at that 8th grade graduation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I'm going to have an expectation that opportunities are going to find me.
You'll be absolutely. You'll have a lot of standing around time while your daughter is taking pictures and selfies with everybody. So go up to somebody you didn't know before. Start that conversation. I love it. Okay, so we'll hold you accountable. You hold us accountable. Next month we'll get back together and we'll see how much networking we have done.
Love it.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. AllisonKSummers.com and RenewSpaMemphis.com. We will be right back. Our hashtag, Making Better Communities. It's almost time for Make Dinner Great Again, ladies. Y'all ready?